My back might just be my best body part. And this year I'm going to share my 5 favorite back exercises. And the first one is a T-bar row. I remember the first time I did a T-bar row. Oh no, not the first time, but like the second or third time I did a T-bar row. I had I did it at the end of my session, of my back and bicep session. And I had the best back pump that I ever had in my entire life. The back pump, the contraction, the pain, the burn. I'd never had something like that in my back, to be honest. It was so bad that I struggled to even walk around. And since that day, I've been in love with the T-bar row. It's such a, I just find it so effective. The mind-muscle connection, the resistance curve is just so good, to be honest. And yeah, one of the main reasons why I love the T-bar row so much is that the resistance curve is even more biased to lengthen bias, you could say, than on exercise like the normal, the classic bent over row. The classic bent over row is also an amazing exercise. Not I'm not trying to shit on it or something like that. It's really good. It's a really good exercise. But I think for me personally, the T-bar row might just be an even better version than the barbell row. Might just be because of the better resistance curve. You could say it's more difficult. It's more lengthen bias than the bent over row. You could say. So I really like it. The only downside that I see from it is that I'm kind of limited to just a close grip. I can never take even slightly wider grip because the grip, the handle that you have to use to be able to do it. At least a bent over range version. I think there's some machines out there. There's some T-bar row machines out there, and you can grab like a longer, wider, a wider handle, you could say. But on the bent over rush version, you're kind of stuck with just this classic, really narrow handle. But it's not just a bad thing. Like I said, such a small inconvenience, you could say, but it's a really good exercise outside of that. So I really like it for those reasons. Why am I talking like a robot? The second exercise, like the classic pull-ups. Most of my back growth has come from pull-ups. Like I used to train at home, as you can see my pull-up bar there, my dip bar down there, and I only did pull-ups on my back. Literally just did different pull-up variations like the normal wide or normal pull-up, normal grip, wide grip. I did chin-ups, I did neutral grip pull-ups. So I just 95% of my current back size comes from pull-ups. So it's such a hardcore basic, just a basic exercise but so effective. So let me just show you my form, Just let me just show you what true pull-ups look like. So yeah, you can see my form. I really go really fast on the way up, and I control the eccentric on every single rep. I always control the eccentric. I go down. I always use like a full range of motion. So you can see at the bottom, I didn't just stop at the point where my arms were straight. I literally let my shoulders really kind of come up to my ears to really get the maximum stretch on my back. And bro, I'm already out of breath. Actually, this is the second time I record this video, and the first time, in this part, actually, when I went to perform the pull-ups, I was literally in my underwear, so I had to take those shorts that I'm wearing now, quickly wear them, and then did my pull-ups. I just kind of realized how weird I am. Why am I working in my underwear? And I often do that, even though it's like really cold outside, like it's 5 degrees outside, but I'm working in my underwear almost days. It's just a weird thing, bro. When you look too good naked. But yeah, those were my pull-ups, and you can see the form. Always use this form on pretty much every exercise I do. Fast, concentric, so fast on the way up, slow on the way down, full range of motion, good stretch, kind of small pause at the stretch position, and then I go back up. So yeah, those are pull-ups. Lat prayer. Lat prayer, I literally just did this exercise once. Literally, last week I tried it and I loved it. I literally tried it last week and I just found it so good. Like I felt a part of my back that I'd never felt before. Like this part here. This part which is kind of connected to my shoulders. This part, like the upper lat here. I felt it working so, like it was burning. I'd never felt that part of my back in my whole entire life. So that's why I just instantly fell in love with this. Like the first time I'd heard about lat prayer, I was just so skeptical because it just looked, for me, for some reason, my brain just didn't think that it looked effective or functional, you could say. But I tried it after a few months of contemplating it and being like, yeah, it seems like a good exercise, but I'm not going to try it. I tried it. I fell in love with it. Like the mind muscle connection was really, really good. The stretch was really good. So when you use good form, the form cues that I had, because I think this exercise is even, when it comes to the form, it's the most, in this list that I'm showing you today, it's the most, you could say, technically difficult. Because there's a few cues that you want to use. The first cue that I had that I used was elbows up. Elbows up through the whole full range of motion. So that I don't like turn my elbows like this when I'm holding the bar. Always elbows up to really get like a pre-stretch on my lats. And on the way up, as I'm coming back up with the bar, I'm kind of dropping my chest down. And as I'm pulling, kind of think about having like a big chest. Those were cues that I learned from a channel called Renaissance Periodization. I literally learned this exercise from them, and even the next exercise in this list, I learned this exercise from them. So they taught me a lot of back exercises, and they also made a video like this, my top 5 back exercises, and I kind of copied this video from them. So go watch the version of this video. It's like an amazing video. The fourth one, flexion row. The first time that I heard about the flexion row, again, I was really skeptical because the normal cable row, so the flexion row is an exercise that you perform on a cable kind of row thing, you could say. And the normal row, you kind of come back down and you maybe stop here. You don't really move your upper body, and then you pull, and then you kind of roll your shoulders forward, but you don't really move your upper body or even round your lower back even a little bit. But on the flexion row, you actually allow your whole back to round, and you actually lean forward to get an amazing stretch on your upper back and a fairly good stimulus on your lower back as well. I was skeptical because in my whole life I'd heard that rounding your lower back is a bad thing, that you shouldn't be involving your lower back on any exercise to perform. Rounding your lower back is a bad thing. And yeah, when I first saw this exercise on the Renaissance Periodization channel, I was skeptical, but I tried it, especially because at the time when I discovered this exercise, I had back problems. I had lower back problems, like my lower back hurt. I was kind of pissed off because I'm like 17. I was like 17. I'm still 17 years old. I'm like 17 and I have lower back pain like an old man. I was like, oh man, that's so annoying. So I was skeptical because I thought that flexion row would make my lower back pain worse. Actually, the complete opposite. It improved my lower back. My lower back hurts less now. And it isn't only because of the flexion row, of course. It's just because I've kind of busted this limiting belief that I had in my head that to have like a healthy lower back, you should just never train it and you should never put tension on it. Actually, I'd reversed my mindset, and I have the mindset that if you, to avoid, to greatly decrease your chances of injuring your lower back and actually stop having pain, this is actually what's helped me not have pain in my lower back anymore. It's actually good to just train it. I just started really training it and not being so scared of putting pressure on it. I now do back extensions with full range of motion, like RDLs. I already did RDLs before, but I just tried to make sure that I had no tension on my lower back at all, which isn't necessarily the best way to do it. Of course, I don't roll my back. I still just keep it neutral. But every time I felt like a kind of burn in my lower back, I was always skeptical. So I'm just going to quickly go to the last exercise. Last exercise, the single arm dumbbell row. So basically you go behind the bench. You have the bench placed in an incline and you just row like that. So it's a very simple exercise. I'm not even doing it anymore. It's on my program, but I used to really, really like it. So yeah, that was the list. If you want to join my free community, just click this first link in the description. And yeah, don't worry from comfort. Chase it.